Ladies and gentlemen, right now we have someone special. This icon, this industry icon, he's already 30 years in business. You have sometimes people achieving a high rank, but it says there. But this man is delivering value on the highest level for the last 30 years, not only for himself, but all network marketing worldwide. So all the big mentors, all the top earners are following him, are reading his book, are duplicating his knowledge throughout their whole organization. He's an icon, he's a legend. I've learned many things from him, and I'm sure his presentation will change your life as well. Make yourself ready for Mr. Tim Sales.
All right, I'm so super happy to be here and to be with all of you. I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored that you're here. If you see me looking off just a little bit, it's because I have some presentation materials so that you are able to understand kind of in the, where I am, and then I'll do summaries and things like that. So how this all started was that my wife happened to see this incentive trip that my company was offering. And give me a shout out if husbands, you're worried when your wife looks at social media, right? Because then it's all of a sudden, oh, they're announcing this thing, and it's not just a regular incentive trip, but a super trip. And the only ones that could go to this were the people in the top 10 of the company. And so I went into the back office, looked at it, and I was ranked at 33rd in the world. All right, well, that's a problem. So I'm going to have to move up. Well, inside of our back office, there was this application, if you will, that you could tell the application what level you wanted to be at. In other words, what rank you want to be at. So I chose 10. And then it would give me what amount of sales volume I would have to create within a certain period of time. So 1 year. All right. So it told me that I was going to have to create about $44,000 a week in sales volume. Wow. All right. It's time to get to work, right? So how do you do it? What do you do? And so it doesn't have to be an incentive trip that motivates you. It could be anything. It could be so that I can go full time, so that I can have my spouse, stop having to work, or it could be for any reason that you want. And that's how I've laid this out. All right. So, I'll come back to that, by the way, at the end of my presentation. So the 6-figure income focus. Now, for what I needed to accomplish, I needed a 6-figure a month income. All right. But I've designed this presentation so that it could be for 6-figure income, because that's probably going to put you in the top, 10% of income earners in the world. And so, what I did is it was get focused, get organized, remove distractions, do correct actions, and then duplicate that. That was my plan. All right. So let me run through this. Number 1 is get focused. Of all things that you are already doing and want to do, make a list of everything. I call it a 7-day reveal. And what I mean by that is that about every 30 minutes or every hour, just journal what you did during that time. All right. And then also what you want. All right, so you're going to have 7-day reveal. That's all of the things that you're doing. Distractions, ball games, TV, social media, like whatever it is. All right, and then the things that you want. Right? All right. So the more items, and let me just give you the concept here. The more items you try to do, the more you're dispersed, in other words, scattered, and you're less powerful. And so what we need to do is to really look at, all of the things that you're currently doing. The second thing to do is to get organized. All right. So to get organized, this is where you need to lawyer up and be decisive. Decide the one thing. So of all that list of the many, many things, decide based upon what would create the most amount of change in your life that you want. And choose that one thing. And you say, well, wait a minute, Tim, I've got a whole lot of things. I know. And you can get anything that you want, but you can't get all that you want at the same time. Okay, so you're going to have to decide that number one thing. Okay? All right. Then, now you're going to divide that goal into years, however long you want it to take to get it, right? And so here's the way that I see it, is that if it's going to be a really big goal that's going to take me 5 years, then I want to start at 5 years. If it's 10 year, I'll start at 10 years. But what I'm going to do then is that I'm going to divide it from 10 years to 5 years to 1 year goal to 90-day goals. 90-day goals is my favorite spectrum, if you will. It's the amount that I want to really, really focus on because that's when you see whether or not you're really on track. And then if you wanted to divide it again into months, you're welcome to do so. So you would just create a 3-month out of it or something. All right. So then the daily actions that I'm going to have to do in order to achieve my 90-day goal. And that's probably the part where I'm going to be able to help you the very best if your choice is that you want to do network marketing and you want to create a lot of income. All right. So what actions will achieve the 90-day goal? That's what you're really wanting to do. So, and by the way, I will share with you it's kind of like I have some evaluations and estimations based upon my statistics over 32 years of doing the industry. And so I'll share those with you in just a little bit. All right. So now, daily actions added up must accomplish the 90-day goal, right? So that's what you're trying to do is to get it tuned in with the amount of actions you're going to have to do in order to achieve your 90-day goal. And then if you just multiply that times 4, then you will accomplish your 1-year goal. All right. So that's the concept and idea. And if you want to multiply the 1 year by 4, that will reach your 5-year goal. So that's the way that you get organized and get focused, is because now you know what you're going to be doing in your daily actions and then what's going to happen in 90 days, 1 year, and then 5 years. All right. So now you know exactly what you must do. But you might be saying, well, Tim, I've set goals before. I've broken them down before, and I didn't achieve my goal. All right. So distractions is what makes you less powerful. It is the item. Okay. And you say, well, I've squeezed everything out of my life. Well, let me give you a little bit of a story. So I was in U.S. Navy Special Operations in the United States military. And I kept saying, I don't have time to do the business. That was what I was saying. And it was finally a point where I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would I have time to make, I don't know what the amount, I think I was making maybe about $2,500, maybe $2,000 a month. And yet what my goal was at the time was to make $10,000 a month, which would be about $100,000 a year. And so I was like, why am I saying I don't have time when I have time to make $2,000, but I don't have time to make $10,000? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And so what I did is that I did this 7-day reveal. And one of the things that came out of it was all of the things that I were doing that was not contributing to my goal. And so I finally came up with the declaration. And the declaration was, if it doesn't make me $10,000 a month, I'm not going to do it. And that's one thing to declare that, but then you know what happens. People start saying, hey man, let's go play golf. Hey, how about this? And how about that? And all these distractions start coming in and you justify it, right? You become reasonable and you say, oh, that's okay. That's all right. I'll do it just once. No, you have to become that person that says, I'm sorry, I'm already booked. I'm sorry, I'm already booked. Okay. And that's what I did. All right. So, and I did achieve that goal, by the way. All right. So step number 3 is remove distractions. Look at your 7-day reveal, extract out what I call non-negotiables. The non-negotiables are the things that you must maintain, like family, church. If you're homeschooling your kids, that's a non-negotiable, right? So whatever is non-negotiable for you. And then you're going to keep on doing those things. And then remove or delegate everything else, keeping your goal. All right. So I remember this one time where a friend of mine, we used to play golf like 2 or 3 times on the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday. And he would say, hey, man, what happened to my golf buddy? And I go, what do you mean what happened to your golf buddy? And he goes, well, you don't play anymore. And so I was like, all right. So I went out and I played with him. And I couldn't believe that I was chasing a little round ball for 4 hours. In other words, it had dawned on me that that was really what was keeping me from my goal. And so I then came back. I sold my golf clubs and I said, I will buy a better set later. I sold my bicycle. I used to do 100-mile rides on the weekends. I sold my karate gis. I sold everything that was distracting me, okay? And I used that money to buy leads, to run advertisements, okay? And so that's what I mean when I say remove or delegate everything else, but keeping your goals and your non-negotiables, all right? All right, so that leaves you with non-negotiables plus one goal. Make your goals push out all distractions. All right, so the reason that I do it in this sequence, get your goals in first and then push out the distractions. Don't try to get your distractions out of the way first and then push in your goals. I like to push in the goals first and then get the distractions out. And, and I found such silly things that I were doing, little projects that I was doing that was just not contributing to my life, to my goals, or anything else. They were just kind of hobbies. All right. Now you got to create the space and time in order to do it. So by removing distractions, you created more space, right? You fill it up with what's going to have you achieve your goal. You put it on your calendar. Very vital, very vital. And not just your monthly calendar, but you're going to put it on the every 30-minute part of your calendar. And that's the way that I organize my time there. All right. So now, once it's on your calendar, do it. When somebody asks you, hey, could you do blah, blah, blah? No, I'm sorry, I'm booked. All right. So that's the way that you've got to function because you're going to do it. All right. So it makes it easier to say no when you say, I'm already booked then. All righty. So now this is a weekly view. And what you're going to do is, just for example, is you're going to find an hour, all right? Talk to 3 people. So the way that number works out is that if you talk to 3 people 5 days a week, then you'll get to $100,000, all right? And I'll show you that breakdown in just a little while. All right, so find an hour. Even if I was full-time in the military, but I was able to do it because I would take my lunch break. I would take my lunch and then get on my cell phone. All right. That was the beginning of cell phones back when they were like bricks. Right. So that's the way that I did it then. All right. So now, what do you do? Like, how do you do it? What's it all about? Well, if you've seen anything of mine, you've heard the pipeline, because the pipeline is the only thing that makes money. It's the only thing that gets customers. It's the only thing that gets people. All right. Human resources department in any corporation is going to do the pipeline. Every church is going to do the pipeline to get a congregation. It's how colleges get students. Okay, so don't ever be ashamed or afraid of this pipeline. All right, so I'm going to kind of walk you through each one of these steps of the pipeline. On the far left corner, it is generate a lead. Well, what does that mean? It means any way you want to generate a lead. It means open up your phone and look at the contacts. It means running advertisements. It means getting referrals from people that you know, whatever it is, right? And then the second step is you're going to contact that person. And you're going to set an appointment for them to see a presentation. Sometimes you don't have to set the appointment, right? So a doctor's office is going to set an appointment. An attorney's office is going to set an appointment. Sometimes you have to set an appointment to eat dinner. Sometimes you can just walk in. Right? So it's not always an appointment, but to see a presentation. Okay. So now the whole idea behind this 3 people is that you're going to contact, all right, not just generate a lead, but contact 3 people. All right. And so then you're going to have them look at a presentation, and then you're going to follow up. Okay. And then that's going to get you a customer or a rep. You're going to serve them, and then you're going to make money. That's the way it works. All right. So let me dive into this a little bit deeper. So let's go back to leads and contacts, maybe Facebook Messenger, maybe Instagram, Twitter. If you want to go to an expo and create a table to talk to people. I used to do postcards a lot. So I would, have them sent by mail, regular mail, not email, but you could do emails. You could buy leads. You could do banner ads on websites that are appropriate for what you sell. You could also, write an ebook or something like that that's going to cause people to download the ebook, and then you would be able to use that as a lead. All right. So then the next step, I wrote something a long time ago called Professional Inviter. And in that, I broke down, because I had never been a communicator. I was the most shy person that ever walked the planet. And so I had to learn new how to become social. If you just think of an average bomb squad person, social is not a part of that profile, right? It's playing with bombs and explosives and stuff like that. And so I had to really learn this. And so what I found that everybody does is they greet a person. Okay, so the greeting is not just a hello, but it's to get the person to talk to you. That's the real goal of a greeting, is to get them talking freely and openly to you. And then after they do that, then you're going to qualify. Well, what's qualify mean? If you look in regular sales and books and videos and stuff like that, they're going to say, do they qualify, as in, do they have enough money to purchase the product? But that's not what qualify is here. Qualify happens to be, do they qualify for my product or business? Do they need or want my business? Okay, so that's what qualify is. And if they don't qualify, I never invite them. So I can go to a social event, I can walk around and meet everybody at the party, and I can greet and qualify every person in the room, but never invite. All right, if they didn't qualify. Or if I want to wait until a little bit later, I just exchange business cards, and then I'll invite them later. All right, so now you get the picture of how I go about that conversation. What am I going to invite them to do? All right, so let me move over there. And I'm going to invite them to look at a video if somebody else did it. I'm going to invite them to meet with me at a coffee shop or at my home. I'm going to invite them to a Zoom meeting. That's what I most do right now. So the way that I accomplish my goals is the Zooms. I do a lot of Zooms. or you can invite them to an event. All right, so after you invite them, you're going to do, back in the contact column, you're going to do close to action. So in other words, all right, so you're going to watch this video. When do you think you'll get a chance to watch it? That's the close to action. So they're going to say, well, I'll probably be able to look at it tonight. Okay, great. So when's the best time for me to contact you and see what you thought about it? So that's that step, all right? And so then you're going to follow up 7 times, okay? 7 times, unless they say no or yes. I have found that there's no reason to go beyond 7, but you need to go 7 times on a follow-up in order to really get in touch with them, okay? All right. So now what I want to share with you is pipeline estimations. And this is based upon 32 years. This is based upon building 2 different companies. And it's based upon multiple people. So it's not just me. My numbers are a little bit different, but what I see in the organization. All right. So you're going to talk to 800 people. And how long does that take? Well, that's up to you. So if you want to do it in a year, you're going to have 16 conversations per week. That's 3 per day. That's the reason I used in my example on your calendar is talk to 3 people a day. All right. If you want to do it a little faster, then it's going to be 6 months and you're going to have 32 conversations and you're going to talk to 6 people a day. And so it's not about, it's about your speed, your productivity, the ability to do that contact, the greet and the qualify, to do those things in a very intentional way. If you haven't figured that out about me, and most successful people, is that they figure out how to be very intentional. And what I mean by intentional is in high action, all right? That's where you want to be. You don't want to be leaning back and saying, I'm afraid, I'm scared, or anything like that. You want to have that attitude where you're looking forward and you have strong intention, all right? And so if you want to do it in 3 months, then you're going to have 67 conversations in a week, and you're going to talk to 9 people per day. All right. So that is my math. And there is another thing that I'll tell you is that when you really summarize all of network marketing, really what you're doing is that you're building lines. All right. And so if you're in a binary, you're going to have to build 2 lines, right? If you're in a uni level, then you'll build multiple lines. And then there's hybrids of both. But what I found as the easiest way to estimate, out of 40 active people down 1 line, statistically speaking, you're going to get 1 person who makes $100,000, and that will probably finish that line for you. And then you do another one if you have a binary, and now you're going to make $100,000. Okay? But the numbers that I gave you are not necessarily including anybody else. All right? And the reason that I say that is because it's hard for me to predict what my organization is going to do. And so I just say to myself, even if I had to build a whole line myself, I need 40 active people. I got to put 40 active people there. But if I get 1 person who's equal to me and I put 20 and they put 20, then statistically speaking, 1 of those people are going to finish that line. All right? So, and then you build 2 lines and you build 3 lines and you build 4 lines and you build 5 lines. And then that's how you get to ridiculous numbers where you're making 7 figures or high 6 figures or something like that. All right, so I hope that really, really helps you because that is how I function. I'm just always trying to make sure I've got 40 down a line. And, and sometimes it's 30, sometimes it's 60, 70. But statistically speaking, it's around 40. All right? Okay, so now that you've done the pipeline, you teach that. All right, you're going to duplicate that behavior. And you're going to get people to finally sit down and say, what do I really, really want? And then you're going to have them to break that down into years. And then you're going to have them remove the distractions. And that's where you're able to see people who will really step up and become that partner that you're looking for. Not everybody will. Okay, that's the reason. Everybody can. Everybody probably should to achieve their goals, but I know that they don't. All right? And I give everything that I can to the people like what I'm doing here. But when that person does step up and start doing the pipeline, then that's when I'm going to really lock arms and know that I have a true partner. All right? So to conclude and to tell you that I did help my wife with that desire she had, as of June 26th, 2021, I looked in my back office and I wasn't 10th. I was number 2. Okay? And so it quite shocked me, but in reality, it didn't. And the reason I say that is that is how you accomplish goals. Everything that I just described and summarized at the end, just before I show you this, it's all I've ever done for all of my goals. All right? And so with that, I want to thank you for your attention and intention to learn this information. And I also want to thank Business for Home. Thank you so very much.